So how many epic photographs do you have in your portfolio? Or maybe you don't have any. But if you do, ask yourself this question. What did I do to make that photograph epic? Today I'm going to share 5 secrets that I know will help you make epic landscape photographs. Most of the time you'll hear talk about lighting, camera settings, composition, maybe a few other things. But you'll seldom hear about some of the more difficult aspects of landscape photography. I think we have the proclivity to take the path of the least resistance, and it's not our fault, just simply human behavior. It's in our nature. But every now and then, someone comes along that defies nature and does the seemingly impossible. Many photographers like Ansel Adams, they were pioneers. They challenged the status quo. Why are some photographers able to make such stunning and breathtaking images? I mean, what do they know that we don't? I've pondered these questions for many years, and I've determined there are 5 secrets that lead to epic landscape photography. And number 1, hands down, is research. Nobody wants to research, but that's what it is. A great photograph begins with research. Anyone can get lucky, but if one truly desires to make an epic photograph, a clear subject has to be identified. It's got to be studied, at least to some degree. I mean, think about an epic photograph that you know of. It likely has a clear subject that just stands out. Of course, compositional structure is super important, and that goes without saying, but composition doesn't exist without a good subject. So, what is the subject? This is the moment in which an epic photograph is conceived. One must truly research to locate interesting and remarkable subjects, and that's the hard part. I mean, photographers are often out there capturing the same old iconic shots, trying to do the same thing better than the next person. But taking the time to search for uncommon and unique subjects, now that can go a long way towards setting the stage to making a truly remarkable photograph. Now, the second secret is weather. Indeed, weather may seem self-evident and not much of a secret, but the secret is the coordination of the weather to emphasize or highlight a remarkable subject. And that's the hard part. An epic photo is born that moment that remarkable weather converges with a remarkable subject. If you put the two together, you can make it happen. In the world of landscape photography, it's no secret that some of the greatest images, they're made during the golden hours, which leads to the next secret ingredient to this recipe for an epic photograph, which is light. Indeed, the proper use of light is an essential ingredient, but we have to follow the light, or we've got to use the light, I should say, to paint a picture. Light provides emphasis on areas of the image and on the subject, and it helps lead the viewer's eye through the image to the areas that we want them to view. More often than not, this majestic light, it's found during the early morning and evening hours. However, being at the right place at the right time, it requires an extraordinary amount of effort. And many people lack the resources or they find it difficult to be at a particular subject at a particular time of day. Coordinating one's time, resources with the weather at the right moment, that can be a daunting task, which leads to the next secret, discipline. Getting up early and certainly well before sunrise, that can be quite challenging for anyone. Moreover, getting up at 3 a.m. and hiking to a location, that can be quite the commitment to the cause. And what's more, backpacking and spending a cold winter night on location, need I say more? Honestly, it takes discipline to be a landscape photographer. Certainly to be the kind of landscape photographer I'm envisioning. Skill, time management, planning, and budgeting for trips, it's all part of landscape photography. And let's not forget about gear. You guessed it, gear is the next secret, but probably not in the way you're thinking about. Yes, gear does matter, although I would favor a good image captured from a kit lens over a really bad image captured with a pro lens, and I think anybody would. Let's face it, this old Brownie Hawkeye here with its fixed meniscus lens, it's going to pale in comparison to something like this D800. Even with a typical 50mm kit lens on it, it's going to take better pictures. And in fact, this Nikon FE, it's going to take better pictures than this Brownie. I mean, that's just simply the way it is. Technology is better today. And that being said, that doesn't mean that one can't capture an award-winning image with this old Brownie camera, because you can. But those epic landscapes, they often require cameras or film that are capable of high dynamic ranges. Well, talking about cameras, you may find my video on how to choose the best camera for landscape photography interesting. And I'll leave a link to that at the end of the video description. Also, A good tripod often is necessary in low light situations, so that goes without saying, but not to mention quality glass and, well, lenses. That's another topic all by itself, and I'll save that for another video. On that note, you may also want to check out my video, What's the Best Focal Length for Landscape Photography? And I'll leave a link to that in the end of the video as well. Camera bags, backpacks, filters, and many other items are also necessary to get the job done. To recap the 5 secrets of epic landscape photography, I mentioned the importance of research and how weather plays a major role in landscape photography. Also, don't forget about light. Unlike studio photography, we can't control the quality or quantity of light as landscape photographers. We either have to follow the light or plan around it. And when it comes to discipline, epic landscape photography certainly demands its fair share. And lastly, and I mentioned every photographer's favorite subject, gear. Remember, gear does matter, but composition matters more. I hope you find these 5 secrets valuable, and I hope they help guide you into making the kind of images that you're proud to put in your portfolio. Don't forget to check out the video I mentioned earlier. Here's a link to that, right here. Also, I'll leave a link in the video description. And if you like this video, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do subscribe, hit that bell icon so you're notified of any future videos that I post. Also, leave a comment, share your thoughts. And as always, if I don't see you down the road, maybe I'll see you on the trail.